Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for coming back for another video. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I kind of had realized that I'm a few videos in now, about 30 videos in, and I have not ever done an About Me video. So a few weeks ago I asked on Instagram if anybody had any questions for me, photography or just life related, just to help you guys get to know me a little bit better. So I'm not very interesting, but if that interests you, hang in there. If not, I'll see you later. I don't blame you. First things first, my real name is Teal. I get asked that a lot. I am an identical twin. Her name is Danielle. We don't have the cutesy little twin names like you would hope that we have, but it's fine. Teal and Danielle, it works. My dad named me and my mom named my sister. I am very lucky that I get to call Hawaii home for now. My husband is in the military, so we do move around a lot. We've spent a lot of time in Texas, Oklahoma, and then now Hawaii. It's definitely fun getting to move around a lot, but we move around like just enough where you get attached to somewhere and then you have to leave. So I will miss Hawaii greatly. We have a little under a year left here, I believe. So we are enjoying every little bit of it. And I love that I've gotten the opportunity to live here and experience Hawaii. I get to live somewhere that people pay a lot of money to go on vacation to go to. So I am very blessed. I don't take that for granted at all. As far as photography goes, I have been a professional photographer for about, let's see, it's 2020, for about 6 years professionally. So what I mean by professionally is taking clients and having them pay me money. You know, there was photo shoots before that, there was camera work before that, there were lots of photo shoots before that, but I consider professional when you take money from somebody for a product. So I am a professional and that is how I make my money. It's not a very exciting story. I started the way a lot of people start. I just started by taking pictures of my daughter. My husband was deployed when she was born. He was here for her birth, but then he left about 10 days after she was born for 4 months. So a lot of the photography and the interest in photography started when I needed to take a lot of pictures to send him pictures of her while he was deployed, because that was the only way at that time. Like now I feel like, that was 2011, and now I feel like things have come so far along where you can just FaceTime your husband when they're deployed. That was not the case in 2011. I still had to email him photos of our child or post them on Facebook or whatever. I had to make sure that he saw photos of our child because that was the only way that was going to happen. I got good at it. I started to love it. It started to grow into people asking me about photos. So I started to kind of grow and practice with friends, and I realized that I really did like it. I did just a ton of practicing. I'd see little things here and there, like little camera tricks, and I would practice them for weeks until I got them right. Just, I wanted to make sure. I never really thought anything about it. Like I never thought I want to be a photographer. Like that thought never really crossed my mind. I just realized it was something that I loved, and then I started joining like Facebook groups, and I realized like, hey, these people make money doing this. Like that's cool. Like how awesome is it to make money doing something that you love? So it kind of just like snowballed into it. It was never like a plan. I never picked up a camera and was like, I'm gonna make money doing this. Yeah, so now here we are. I've just been doing it for, like I said, about 6 years. I started right before we moved to Oklahoma, and my business really kind of picked up in Oklahoma. Like that is where I started my business, so part of me will always love Oklahoma because of that. It really got my business and everything off to like a running start, and I love and I miss my clients there so much, and I really owe them so much for trusting in me when I was I wasn't still learning, but like it was very green. It was very new business at that point. So I love that they love me, and it's just perfect. Let's go ahead and answer some of your questions. Like I said, I just had asked on Instagram and you guys threw questions at me, so I wrote them all down. So I didn't know. I'm glad I wrote them all down, because if you didn't know, when you ask somebody questions in your stories, it saves the responses for a little while. I want to say maybe like a week and a half they were there, and then all of a sudden they vanished. So there were a few questions that I had to just try and remember what they were, because I didn't write them all down. Like, I started writing them down and I'm like, whatever, I'll just get to it later. That was not the case. I did not get to them later, but I did remember what the last 2 or 3 were, because some of them are really good questions. First question, great question. If I was not a photographer, what would I be? I don't know. I kind of always had a lot of pipe dreams. I always like saw something and I was like, dang, that looks really fun. I want to do that for a living. You know, you watch too much HGTV, and there was a point that I wanted to be an interior designer. I watch a lot of Food Network and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally be a chef. But it's all very artistic. Like, if you think about all those things that I listed, like designing, even food is very like artistic, how they plate everything. And there was a time where even before I did photography, I thought it would be so cool to be like a food photographer. Like when you flip through a magazine or a cookbook and you see these beautiful pictures of food. I definitely know I would do something artistic. I would always, even if I didn't fall into photography, I think I would have done something artistic, whether that would have been towards the graphic design. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be an artist. Like every little kid, I loved to draw and I loved to color, so I was going to be an artist of some kind. Did I go to school for photography? I did not go to school for photography. I tell people that I went to YouTube University. I owe YouTube a lot of my knowledge. I learned everything on YouTube. From the moment that I got my first DSLR, which was just I think a Canon, it is a T3i. From the moment I got that camera, I was on YouTube, I was on the internet, I was reading and learning and practicing, and if I had a question about something, I didn't have a professor to go to, so I would literally enter that question into Google, and YouTube videos would come up and blogs would come up, and yeah, learning how to edit. I learned everything from YouTube. My favorite photo shoot ever. That's a hard one. I don't think I have one. So I kind of go into every photo shoot excited, thinking like, oh my gosh, and I leave every photo shoot thinking that was my favorite one. So I don't ever have a favorite one. I'll have a favorite one for like a minute, and then I'll do another one that I love even more. So I don't know. I think every photo shoot is my favorite, if we're being honest. The next question is a fun one, my Starbucks order. So my Starbucks order depends on what time of year it is. I really love the Grande Caramel Cloud Macchiato with an extra shot. So it's a grande with 3 espresso shots in it. And I like this for kind of like all year long. Like, especially in Hawaii, it's just always hot here, so there's not really like a winter time that you want like a hot coffee. So I do get that most of the time. Like if my husband runs to Starbucks without telling me, that's most likely what he'll bring home for me, because he knows that's my favorite. When it's a really hot day or I'm not feeling like coffee, I like the iced pineapple matcha. I'm like a new matcha person. I was like, holy wow, this is a whole new world of caffeine that's not coffee. Love it. And of course I'm, super basic, so I do love me some pumpkin spice when that's an option. I either do an iced non-fat pumpkin spice latte, because again, it's hot here, can't drink hot coffees, or the pumpkin cream cold brew. Oh, it's so good, it's my favorite. I'm actually so glad it's back. I've had it a few times now. Am I an early bird or a night owl? I am absolutely a night owl. I struggle to get out of bed in the morning, but I am up till 1 a.m. because my mind is racing and I'm thinking, or I just can't sleep. I don't know. I am absolutely a night owl. I get so much more done at night. It'll be like 7 o'clock at night and everybody else will be kind of winding down for bed, and I am thinking about what's going on tomorrow, like what's going on the next day. So yeah, I love to sleep in. Mornings suck. I hate mornings. So I'm trying to get better about that. Do I have any other hobbies besides photography? I do. I really like to cook. I would say that would be my other hobby. I guess it's not really a hobby, you have to cook, but I do enjoy cooking. I enjoy making food for my family. I enjoy trying new recipes. I enjoy making things up as I go. I do enjoy cooking. I hate cleaning up. Cleaning up's the worst. You know what's super fun is when you have something in a restaurant that you like and you go home and try to make it. That's my favorite. My husband likes it too because then it's cheaper. But yeah, that's probably my favorite thing to do. My hobby, I guess, would be cooking. My favorite restaurant. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite restaurant. So we've lived in so many different places. I have favorite restaurants in places that we've lived. In Texas, it was a Vietnamese restaurant that we would drive 45 minutes to get to. That was my favorite. Oklahoma, there was like this cute little sports bar that we would go to and eat. They had the best salads you could ever, a sports bar with salads, but yeah, I think I just find wherever we live, I have favorites. I don't have one overall favorite. Next question is, what is the first thing that I do in the morning? First thing that I do in the morning is hit snooze on any alarm that's going off, but it's coffee. I have to have coffee. Like, coffee is my gasoline and my lifeblood, and I absolutely have to have coffee. What is my guilty pleasure? I realized that I have two. I really like 90 Day Fiancé, all of the varieties, the before the 90 days, the after the 90 days, the middle of the 90 days, whatever of the 90 days. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with that. And you like feel wrong watching it, right? But you love it so much you can't look away. That's why I'm a night owl, is because even my husband refuses to watch it with me, so I have to wait until everybody's in bed and then I can like rewatch episodes that are saved or on demand. So and then the second one is super gross. It's grocery store sushi. I know. So here in Hawaii, it's different. Like, it's actually really good sushi in the grocery stores, but I'm talking like everywhere else. So even in Oklahoma, so I would go to the commissary on Fort Sill, and I would grocery shop, and then I would get a sushi roll from the little deli area that they had them, and I would eat it in the car. So that's the key. It's not just grocery store sushi, it's eating the grocery store sushi with your hands on the way home. It's super gross. I don't know. Something about it. Like, it tastes better. Like, if I get home and I put it in the fridge and I put the groceries away, it's not the same. You have to eat it in the car on the way home. I know. This is a judgment-free zone. My favorite book. My favorite book is a book by... What's my favorite book? And I can't remember that. I believe her name is Marilyn Harris. And the book is called Lost and Found. It's amazing. It's an older book. I actually had gotten it. I'd read it for the first time. It was on my grandma's bookshelf. I love it. Like, maybe late 90s or early 2000s. Like, I was a teenager when I read it. So good. And I've actually loaned it to people, and I am on my third copy of it because it is so good that I have to keep a copy. I need to read it again for sure, but that's how much I love it. I give it to people to read because I want them to read it, and then I don't get it back. So I'm on my third copy. Love that book. If you have a chance to read it, if you want a really, really good book that jumps around like crazy but comes together in the end, it's a really, really good book. Bad habit. I'm very messy. As much as I really like things being in their place, I'm very messy, and I'm like closet messy. I don't know how to say it. I'm like behind a door messy, so I'm the kind of person that throws everything into the closet and shuts the door, and then it's clean. We have 800 junk drawers because I'm like, because if the counter is messy or the table's messy, it looks terrible, but if you just take all of that and put it in a drawer and close the drawer, you're good to go. So it's kind of a bad habit. I should just clean up. I should just like organize things. I am trying to get better with that. So you'll walk in and it looks clean, just don't open any drawers or any doors. What is my most embarrassing moment at a shoot? So there was this one time that I was meeting a client. It was a very last minute shoot that they had booked. Very last minute. Like, they were visiting on the island, and they had like booked me the night before. They're like, oh my gosh, we totally forgot to book pictures. Are you available tomorrow night? Whatever. I'm like, yes I am. Let's go to this location. Like, it was very quick. The conversation was very limited. I knew it was mom, dad, and two little girls. That's all I knew. And what location and what time we were showing up at. So I get to this location, and a van pulls up next to me. Usually I'll try to get like, what car are you driving, just so I can like spot people. But I didn't ask for, this was so last minute, it was late, like it was ridiculous, like as last minute can be. So I'm like, whatever, I'll find him, a mom, dad, and 2 little girls. So I pull up, I'm waiting, a minivan pulls up next to me, and it has like the little no smoking sticker in the window, so I know it's a rental. I'm like, all right, cool, they're here for me. So I get out of my car, I go say hi, they say hi, they're looking at me a little weird, but they say hi. They're not excited to see me, which is weird, because usually people are like, oh no, hi, you know, whatever. But they open the back door of the van, and they're getting the little girls dressed, and they're kind of like staring, like I'm just standing there like trying to have a conversation, like, oh, their dresses are so cute, like just being myself, and they're looking at me a little weird. Dad's over like on his phone, like I'm not sure what he was doing while mom's getting these girls dressed, and they're just staring at me. So I was like, all right, cool, maybe they're just weirded out that I'm standing here while they're, you know, getting their little girls dressed. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go wait over here. And I go and I open my passenger door and I sit in there and I'm just like texting somebody, I don't know what, I'm just messing around on my phone, and I get a message from the people that I'm meeting, and they say that they're running a few minutes late. That's funny, because I thought you were here already. So I kind of just wait. I'm like, well, maybe they sent that message on their way and I just didn't get it yet, because like, you know, service is sketchy some places. Well, as I'm sitting there kind of trying to figure out what's going on, another person drives up to where we are, says hi to them, they're excited to see her, she has a camera, and they all waltz off into the sunset to take photos. Oh my gosh, I tried to abduct the wrong family. I was so embarrassed. Like, I just felt like melting right there. Thankfully, my family that I was shooting showed up just a couple minutes later. We shook it off. That family was shooting on one side of the beach, so I made sure to go to the other side of the beach so we didn't have to talk about anybody. I'm sure they saw me and was like, oh, they thought that was us. But yeah, I was so embarrassed. Like, I even I feel like I might be turning red, because like I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my god, like they thought I was freaking crazy. Could you imagine me talking to you like they knew you? Yeah. I'm sure they don't think I'm a creep. I'm sure they saw what happened, but it was embarrassing for me. Anywho, moving on. What did I want to be when I grew up? So I already talked a little bit about I always loved art, so I did always say, oh, I'm gonna be an artist. My daughter says that now and it makes me happy. But I wanted to be an astronomer. I wanted to study space. I wanted to look in telescopes, and I mean, I guess kind of photography related. I wanted to take pictures of planets. I was obsessed. Everything space related. I didn't want to be an astronaut. I was in that kind of space. I wanted to study it. I wanted to be a space scientist. I still love space, and my daughter loves space too. And I told her, I'm like, hey, if you don't want to be an artist, you can be an astronomer. You can do what I wanted to do. And she's actually kind of digging the idea. So we'll see. If I don't get a little artist, I'll get a little space scientist out of her. Okay, that's it. That's all I have. That is all the questions. There were tons of questions. Like, you guys were so good to me when I asked for questions. I kind of just picked like basic broad questions, or the same question. Like, a lot of you asked the same questions. Like, I think I got asked what my Starbucks order was like 20 different times. So yeah, I think that covers most of your questions. If you have other questions for me, leave them in the comments. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up on your way out of this video. It's good for the algorithm. And as always, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified for all of my videos that I post. I hope you have a wonderful day, make good choices, and I will see you next time. Bye!